Welcome, everyone. It is me, Nina Sachs from Yoga Awakening Africa, and today I have the lovely Olivia Moon, who is a holistic alignment coach, conscious breathwork facilitator, yoga teacher, and retreat facilitator. And we're going to be chatting about her upcoming alignment challenge. And she is I suppose also a health coach or a coach. And I'm just trying to read here. What did you put here? Like, you help people step into their fullest potential, connect with their purpose, break through self-limiting beliefs, and align with their highest self. And I must just say, you have the most beautiful website. So congratulations on that.
Oh,
That is
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a labor. It's sort of been an ongoing little creative project I've been working on. So thank you. I will receive that. Yeah,
good.
good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Nina, for having me. What a treat to be on here.
Lovely.
Um,
So what is this alignment challenge like about? Like what is it?
so the 10-day alignment challenge it's a live online event, but it's also really a supportive container where we can support each other in building a sustainable practice of daily soul-led habits. And so, beyond just holding each other accountable in the container, I actually also provide a really powerful tool and framework that's based on um, energy medicine, it's based on energy psychology, habit psychology, all kinds of things. And also very much backed by what they've learned now in neuroscience about the how we actually form habits. And so, in the 10 days, we'll show up each day live. So I'll be holding a breathwork and meditation session. So let me just recap on the 5 practices that we'll be doing together. So these 5 practices I've been teaching for years. They're so simple and they might sound really obvious, but they are super powerful. As each of them has this ability to create self-regulation. So they're helpful to regulate the nervous system. Self-awareness. So it's a way for us to keep on continuously noting how we're feeling each day, what's going on for us each day, and then self-connection. So we really cultivate that sense of connection with our authentic self. So they are meditation, breath work, movement. So I really like to use the word movement because exercise got a bit of a bad rap. So movement, nature. So that's quite obvious, but at the same time, we take it for granted. And then journaling. And this is such a powerful process. So a lot of these practices, you might have thought, oh, I know that those are good for us, but how many times are we actually held accountable for the things that are good for us? And so really, that's really how this alignment challenge was born in the first place. How can we hold each other accountable to showing up for the things that are filling our own cup so that that overflow can be shared with others?
Love it, love it. And so, Olivia, like, what would you say for those who have attended in the past are like maybe like 2 or 3 of the like main benefits that they've gathered or garnered from like these 10 days of being with you in this
Yeah.
challenge?
Yeah. So each day we show up live on Zoom. So there's already that sense of community. So we do a live breathwork and meditation session, and then after that, a live yoga session. So for those of you who aren't really into yoga, they can always do some other kind of movement. But just having that kind of space and that energy of live is really powerful because, this could just be a pre-recorded course, but how often would you actually, feel accountable to showing up? And so people have loved that kind of consistency. But at the same time, it's also given the space to really explore these things, give them a real go for 10 days. Something
Mhm.
that's also really powerful about the challenge is that it's really unique to each of us. So we're not all the same. Otherwise, if we just wanted to do something, we could just do it. So a lot of the work is about uncovering what is your unique way of building consistency in your habits. So some people need the flexibility, some people need the community and support and accountability. Some people just need to do it their own way. And so that is all kind of supported and encouraged in the container of the challenge. So it's not about being perfect. It's about starting to find out what works for you and being able to come up with a plan that you can carry way beyond the 10 days that starts to benefit your life. And so some of the benefits have been just feeling more like themselves than ever. And to me, that's often the highest compliment. When you start to just feel like yourself, that's such a good indication that you're feeling connected, you're feeling regulated, you're feeling like the most authentic version of you. So that's been one of them. People have just loved the community of it. They've loved the just that sort of fresh start effect as well. Coming into a challenge, um, there's this incredible thing that they call, it's actually kind of backed by science now, the fresh start effect. When we do something in this kind of new way, and we're doing this, we always do it in a kind of either the beginning of the year or the beginning of a season, it brings that extra vuma that we need just to get past go. And then we have so much more of a chance of success. So there's so many of those little kind of intricate things woven in, because my intention with this is really to set you up for success, because these tools have been so impactful in all all my clients who have, even the ones that have been really resistant to them. Things like journaling. Something like, oh, what am I going to write? But when you really understand why journaling, what the benefits of journaling are, it's such a powerful tool for self-awareness, but also for really connecting with ourselves and getting to know ourselves on a deeper level. So I'm really passionate about all these 5 practices. And so this is where the challenge was born. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love like how you bring that, like for every person, it can be a little different. Like there's not like the set way of doing. And it really speaks to this way of like, okay, what is intuitively good for you that you know and the way that you operate? And like that's what definitely comes through, I think, a lot is like, okay, it's like connecting back to your intuition and like what sparks your kind of like your joy, what is going to get you to find that balance and equilibrium in life again, like what is it that you're needing. So I love how you I don't know, like again, it's not like this cookie cutter set way of operating. There's a structure, there's a form, but you telling people that they also actually need to listen to themselves.
Exactly. So the funny thing about it is that these habits are the ones that connect us more deeply with our intuition. So sometimes we just need that support to actually start to do them. And then once you start to find that connection, you do it your own way. So it's like this beautiful positive feedback loop. So the more that you can do the habits, the more you feel connected with yourself, the more that you will do the habits in a way that works for you intuitively. We're so conditioned to operate from what other people expect us to do or how things should look. And that's really the opposite of what I'm trying to offer here. And so, it sounds, when you talk about challenge, it sounds like it's going to be rigid, but at the same time, it's about looking, okay, does the morning practice work for you? Or do you want to watch the replay and do it in the evening? Does that work for your schedule? What kind of movement works for your body? What kind of how do you want to make your journaling practice a ritual for you that you're actually going to do it and get something out of it? The last thing we want it to be is this performative self-care, right? Checking it off the list. Oh, I've just done my journaling. I've done my thing. I've done that's yes, you might be doing the thing, but are you really receiving the nourishment? Because if you're not, then what's the point? You could be doing anything. And so this is really the difference that I'm trying to that I try to bring across and actually get people to experience for themselves. So this is the thing. It's not me telling you what to do. It's you actually having an experience of, do I feel different when I do these practices versus when I don't do these practices? And these might not be the practices for you, and that's okay. But at the same time, it might be a breadcrumb to something that does work for you. So maybe, the yoga, it doesn't work, but maybe you realize, okay, actually, I love moving my body really slowly. Maybe I'm going to move into something like qigong, or, so many of these the past challenges have continued with their practices, but I can tell you that no one does it exactly the same, because that's not, that's generally, it's not realistic, but it's also not necessarily serving us in the long term. This is really, even though it's 10 days, this is really about the long game. So that's why, yeah. And in addition to the challenges, there's 3 live coaching calls. So in those coaching calls, I'll be also supporting you, and we'll start to uncover a lot of these blocks that we have. So it's not just about what we learn in the actual practices, it's what we learn about ourselves in relation to the practices. So when I notice myself resisting, what's that about? And so we can start to learn, okay, maybe it's something like, I don't have time. Okay, where else in your life don't you have time for yourself? Or maybe it's, oh, yeah, I get bored easily. Okay, so where else in your life are you getting bored and not actually following through with the things that you want that are going to help you to bring you closer to your dreams, right? So it brings us this information when we start to play around with. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning. Okay, how do I start to bring my blocks to surface so I can work with them, and then not only apply this just to the habits in the challenge, but to literally everything else in our lives.
I love that. And so you're saying that you've got like 3 coaching, Zoom
Yeah.
sessions. And so in the morning, like how long are you meeting for? Is it every morning for 10 days? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, so it's every morning for 10 days, the live session. So it'll be 20 minutes of yoga and meditation, sorry, breath work and meditation, and then 25 minutes of yoga. And this is also a nice thing I like to kind of reframe for people. A lot of people think yoga has to be an hour, for it to count, and that's just not true. That consistency is so much more beneficial than just maybe doing, in terms of yoga as a practice of self-awareness, self-connection, self-regulation, to do it each day rather than once a week for an hour is so amazing, just because you can bring that sort of curiosity. How does my body feel day to day? But once again, it's not only for yogis, so if you don't want to do the yoga, if you like to walk in the mountains for your movement, or you like to, go for a run, that's perfect. So that's why I've separated the two. And then the coaching calls are in the evenings. So those are yeah, three in the evenings. And then as a bonus, I've also added in a conscious breathwork journey. So that's going to be something that we can use this incredible power of the breath, which is a whole other aspect of what I do, to start to, on a somatic level, clear away some of these blockages. So once after day 3, once we start to know where our sticky points are, we can use this powerful modality of the breath to start to really shed those layers and then bring us back into alignment as we move into the rest of the challenge. So that's another little bonus that I've added in.
Love it, love it, love it. And with kind of like all the work that you do, because you've got so many different parts, like what do you love most about this like 10-day challenge that you host?
Yeah, what do I love most? I think it's just the ability to empower people. I think it's, I'm just so used to meeting my incredible clients, and they just can't get out of their own way. And I really resonate with that because I've certainly been that way before. But a lot of the time, it's just about realizing that you can actually change the way you feel in your everyday. And it doesn't mean changing everything on the outside. It's about changing what's going on the inside. And we need some support in doing that. And these tools and practices are supportive in doing that, especially if we understand why we're doing it. The practice, the alignment challenge is also very much about connecting with your intention. So, when to build a new habit, you need that intention to be in alignment with who you really are. Because if you're just doing something because someone else is telling you to do it, you might do it, but are you actually going to get anything out of it? Probably not. So
Yeah.
it's really about connecting with your deepest why, aligning your energy, your action, and then, of course, repetition is what then builds a habit in a way that we can actually start to sustainably continue with it, let it evolve as it evolves. But the beautiful thing about these practices as well is, for me, they've just become this kind of, that's why I call them my foundational alignment practices. When you're feeling a little bit wobbly, like I can generally tell, okay, let me just go back to the basics. And the
Yeah.
basics are always there for you. And the beautiful thing, they are all free. All of them. You can do
Yeah.
all of them for free. And so
Love it.
there's no reason that, besides the reasons that we tell ourselves, that we can't actually also find the kinds of benefits that I found and my clients have found in these practices. So I love to just gift this incredible supportive framework to people, and that's probably what I love the most, just that sort of empowering you to make a change in your life without having to change your job, change your relationship, change everything. Maybe that will naturally evolve on its own, but it's about the inside out versus the outside in.
Love it. Love it, Olivia. So insightful. And like I just, yeah, everything you're saying, I'm like tick, 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 tick. Fantastic. Like agree. So if anyone wants to get hold of you, if they want to join your next challenge, I'll pop all your details in the descriptions below so they can get hold of you right away and connect with you on the next challenge and start getting into taking action. I think that's what it is about. It's like understanding and taking action with like what needs to happen. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who's been watching and catching the replay. And yeah,
Buddy, wonderful to be here.
take care. Thank you.